One of our members, David Cox, was having an issue with something he sent over, and I know he's coming home from a doctor's appointment. It's going to get on the call as soon as he can. So, David, Dimitri, Kathy, Ken, really welcome. Those of you who can speak, what's going on? Anything in particular?
Hey
Oh,
Don, this is Ken.
hey, Ken, great to hear from you. So, anything up in your world?
Just sold my house, so
Woo!
I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving down your way, moving in with you in about 15 days. So make sure you have a room for me.
Hey, I'll make sure that the guest room, the sheets are washed and stuff. Wow, that happened fast. It wasn't that long ago I talked to you.
Yeah, yeah, it happened very fast and stuff. And prices are ridiculous. And I told my wife if they're willing to give us some stupid, ridiculous price, it's now more of an investment than a house. So let's
Right.
sell it. Let's go about an hour away from here and buy like 4 or 5 times the house with a little bit of land, and life moves on.
Yeah, that's a fabulous idea. Yeah, so many people, get stuck in their houses like golden sarcophaguses. They've got $1 million house, but they can barely afford groceries every month. It's silly.
Yeah.
But so will that allow you to buy a bigger house and reduce your overhead and then have more money for investing, or what are your plans with that?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Not so much more money for investing. We just wanted to eliminate a house payment, which we've done right now. So at this point, it was our goal to try to eliminate as close to possible a house payment, which we've done because the market did so well here. So now basically, like you say, now the notes are just mailbox money, which is, a positive there, of course. So if you don't have a house payment, you got note money coming in, life is good, right?
Well, yeah, you created cash flow by eliminating an expense. So
Right.
good for you. You're free.
That's right.
Except for the taxes, insurance, and I guess you
Right.
eat a little bit, but
Right.
wow, that's good news. That's really good news. All right, so like I've started doing as of the last call, I kind of want to do just a simple calculator, a problem at the beginning of every call, just so that people, I think this is my one of my favorite and I think the most popular webinars to review for people. So when they're looking at these transaction review and calculator practice sessions, I want to start off with something where they're just in the practice of using the calculator. So bear with me here. So why don't you guys follow along if you can, and you answer it first. So we've got, there's two different ways to solve this problem. If you've got a note, I'm going to move this out of the way. You got a $100,000 note and 9% interest. The term, it's amortized over 15 years, 180 months. The payment is 1,014.27. What's the balance of the note after 24 regular payments? Now, this is super simple, but for people getting started, um, you know, this can be challenging, and there's two ways to do it. So, 100,000 goes into PV, 9 goes into yield, term N is number of payments, so 180, and that's 0 because there's no balloon, right? It's fully amortizing. So we hit this to solve for payment. So now we have the note in here. So what's the balance? Anyone got it? After 24 payments, what's the balance of the note? Who's got their calculator?
It would be $93,079.18.
And how did you get it?
Well, I mean, I just, on my calculator, I just went to the little orange key and then hit the amortization schedule, and then it gives
And
you,
then you
obviously,
scroll down.
yeah, then
Okay,
you just scroll down.
right there. So 93,079.18. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, so there's more ways. So the other way you could do it without going through this, but that's a perfectly good way to do it, is I put 24 payments. So that's how many payments have come in. And then I want to know what's the future value? What's the
Right.
balloon amount? And so I click that, and it's off a teeny bit, isn't it? Just a couple cents or
Just a little
something.
bit.
Yeah, that's normal. The other way I could do it, I'm going to put this back to 0. the other way I could do it is I have 180 payments minus the 24 I already got in. I have 156 payments left. So I want to know what the present value of that is. And it's the same thing. So there are three ways that you can figure out what the balance of a note is if you know the other pieces and it's not too complicated with irregular payment streams. If we did a whole class just on that with the calculator guys one time. But anyway, so there's our little quick lesson just on getting used to your calculator. Hope that helps, and thanks for participating, Ken. All right, so and I see that Richard didn't. He a couple days ago he says I'm pulling my hair out because anyway. So this is Richard's deal. He said I'm just pulling my hair out. I can't figure this thing out. I have a new seller financing origination. It's $100,000 first TD trust deed, 7.5. So let's just like make it while we're going. All right, 100,000. So then we have a 7.5 interest rate amortized over 30. So that's a 30-year fully amortized. So 30 times 12 is 360 months. No balloon over here in future value. So let's solve for payment. Yep, $699.21 principal and interest, P&I. It's not tax and insurance. That would be PITI, right? And so someone bought the note right away for, I guess, $95,000. So instead of the 100 face value of the note, the investor only put in 95. So let's calculate on the yield, 8.03. So far, so good. Okay, I don't know how to solve for the note only being for 5 years. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that, Richard. If it pays off after 1 year, the earnings are... Okay, so you're trying to figure out like an early pivot. Yeah, let me see if I can see what you're saying. Hey, Richard, can you hear me? And can you get a mic so you can talk or call in or something? That would be cool. But anyway, so let's see if we can help Richard figure this out. If it pays after 1 year, pays after 4 years. Okay, so basically, let's figure out the amortization, right? After 1 year. Okay, so let's go back to the original note. He's trying to figure out if the note goes full term, the guy makes 8.03, but if it pays off in 1 year, what is his return? I think that's what Richard's asking. So let's go back to our original note because we got to know what the balance is going to be when it pays off. Okay, so then 60 after 60 months, and I'm going to just take out my little paper. Lots of times I just have to use, my keep track on a pad of paper. I use it all the time, back and forth between my calculator and the paper. So that's 94, 617, 44. So I'm going to write that down. So now we know our investor, he's going to get, so that will be future value, right? So if he's invested $95,000, oops. Okay, he invests $95,000 to get 60 of these and then 1 of these at the end of 60 months. So let's calculate his yield. His yield goes up to 8.77 if it pays off after 1 year. So is that what you meant?
Yeah, exactly. If someone if this was a new origination, let's say it's a seller finance deal and the seller carried a $100,000 loan at 7.5%, and the seller sold that to a retiree or to an investor at the closing for $95,000.
Right.
And then that particular borrower either managed to qualify or they hit the lottery or whatever, but paid off that loan in 1 year. What would be the investor's yield in 1 year?
Yeah, I was gonna do one, and then I went to 5 for some reason. Okay.
But no, actually, I'm sorry. Actually, if you could do the 5 year, that was great. So all you changed was N to 60.
Yeah, because then I figured out what first you have to go back to the original amortization because you have to get the payoff that the guy's gonna make, right? You have to, and that becomes your future value. That becomes the balloon payment that the guy will get. So you go back to the original one, and in this case, we want to go 12. What's the balance? This is the easiest way for me to do it. So I put 12 in N, and what's the balance of the note at that point, which is also called FV, future value. So it's 99, which means that there's whoever owns this note is going to get 12 of these and 1 of these after 12 months, right? At the end of 12 months. That's what that means.
Correct.
So, but the thing he paid is less than the face value. So then we just add that part in. He only paid that to get these same payments. So what's his yield? 12.88.
Got it.
Okay. Is that what you were hoping for? Right there. And
Yes.
and you actually can't tell without a financial calculator because it's an amortized product. If it was interest only, you could tell, right? More easily. People, everything they get in is interest, but in the case you just can't tell what yields are. You can guess at them, but you really don't know for sure until you're using the financial calculator. So do you want to do any more examples of that? Should we do it one more time?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, if you would, please.
Okay, let's recreate the original note because that's what we need to do to get the balance to be right. And I always recalculate the payment just so the fine decimal points inside the calculator are aligned. I always make it calculate itself again, right? Even though that number was still there, I recalculated it because sometimes in the background, because of other things you've done, it messes up little decimal points of things. So anyhow, so now what do we want to figure out? 2 years, 4 years? 4 years?
4 years. Yeah, 4 years.
Okay, so 4 years, 4 times 12 is 48. Okay, the balance, the payoff at that time is going to be that. So if he pays $95,000 now, and what he ends up getting is 48 of these and 1 of these after 48 months, then his yield is 9.02.
Beautiful.
Yep. Does that do it?
That does it.
Okay. Yeah. The note holders receiving part of that's right. They're receiving part of their principal back. So that's hard if you're not using the calculator. Following my logic, the yield is, it will never be less than the 8.03 if you do it this way.
Yeah, and I knew that there was something fundamentally wrong with what I was doing.
Arizona heat. That's funny. Yeah, your brain's frying like a. Yeah, so that's good. So is that all the question you had? That was simple. Anything else?
For my guru, my mentor, yes, it was simple.
Well, and that wasn't supposed to be a slam. I love this because, if people don't ask these questions, then, this is what people miss because I assume, sometimes I move too fast over things. I love this. I'm so glad you brought this up. That's perfect.
And just to confirm, you are coming to Tucson later this month, right?
Yeah. I'm going to fly in Wednesday night and fly out Saturday afternoon. I'll miss part of the Saturday thing, but I want to get back for the weekend, part of the weekend. But yeah, so I'll look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, cool. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, that's kind of all I had planned for today, unless anyone else has a deal or something that they want to go over. I'm going to unmute everybody. Um, any questions? We have a couple new people. Vicky, do you have a mic to speak? And Cindy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Vicky.
Okay, Vicky. Have we talked? I haven't seen you on one of these for, are you new or?
Yes, I am. Jim just invited us, me and
Oh,
Cindy.
oh, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm in Jackson, Mississippi, and Cindy's my partner.
Uh-huh.
And what we are doing is we're doing a lot of this owner financing, um, and we're always looking for funding. So it's great because different investors are looking for different interest rates. So this was like a great tool for us. We just did one. That this would have been helpful if had I known ahead of time. But this was really good. Now I do have a question because I
Yeah.
have a regular financial calculator, but is this a download you have on your computer and you can put on your phone? Because I don't have that.
Yeah, so this is in a day development, and I'll show you their, let's see, if I go, oops, I don't want to take that one out. If I go over here, I'm going to show you where you can find the link and other resources. So with the ownerfinancingclub.com, and by the way, I'm amidst switching over the entire platform of this since it's not working well anymore. Wish list member is just not working. So, but anyway, so if you can't log in, that's the reason. But I've got my virtual assistants working on setting it up. But if you go over here to this links to resources tab, that's where I put like the things that people always ask me and I think that are great. So to HP 10B2 calculators, iPad and
There
iPhone
we go.
version. Do you see it? And
Yes, I
desktop
see
for
it.
Mac. And I use this just because so I can demonstrate and teach and have webinars and things. But I love, 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 love this so much. It's great. So it's by In a Day Development, and they have it for Android and I think for everybody. And they put a lot into it. It's an excellent tool, and they have a lot of training that they put into it as well that you can access. So good for those guys.
Perfect. Yeah, this will be really helpful.
Yeah, well, let's go through a sample deal while we have 10 minutes. Let's go through one of your deals. What can I type in? Tell me about it.
Well, this one was like an emergency, so we have 21,500
For
for
what?
borrowing.
So what your purchase price, you're buying a house.
We're buying a house,
Okay,
21.5.
that's the purchase price?
That's the purchase price,
And you're borrowing 100%.
100%.
Okay. And then what happens? And
We're
what's the
paying
terms of that? What's the terms?
15% interest only 6 years.
Okay. Interest only term. 6 times 12 is 72 months. Okay, which makes your payment,
281 and some change.
yeah, let me pull that up. So because it's interest only, oops, 21.5 times 0.15, right? That's 15%.
Correct.
That's that much interest per year divided by 12 to get 268.75 per month.
Okay.
And that Don would be 21,500 that they're borrowing, right? Not 21,000.
What did I do?
Oh, there we go. 21,500.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I have. Let's do it this way. That's the principal. I make it negative. That's also the balloon. 15% interest, 72 months. Payments 268.75. Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't have the 21,500 on your worksheet on the computer.
Oh, this part. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And you know what? I messed up. It's 22,500.
Oh, okay. So that's 22,
That's where we're at.
5. Okay. Put that as a negative. And now we have 281.25.
Is that a house you're buying or a car?
Pardon?
Is she buying a house or a car?
Ken, that's
Wow.
not nice. Yeah.
We know how
Yeah.
to find the deals. We know how to find them.
Okay, so what does this rent for? Oh
$975.
my heck. What'd you say?
$975.
Okay, and what do you calculate for your monthly expenses?
Hey, Don?
Percentage.
Percentage, we're counting on 20%. Well, we're keeping
Expenses.
20% on reserves
Okay, that's
because
pretty.
we're not paying for anything. The buyer, I mean the renter pays for electrical, everything.
Oh, so maintenance. Okay, so then so you're keeping 80% of each monthly payment.
Correct.
So 780 minus your debt service, 281.25. So you're getting cash flow of almost $500 a month off this thing.
Yeah.
Great, but what's your exit
That's what.
strategy? Because it's not amortizing the loan down. So what's your game plan on this?
Well, we want to pay it off. The only terms that we could get was on the interest only. So, but we just did all the paperwork and we made it that we do have the option on paying towards the principal. But for some reason, we would just put it under the interest only.
He didn't
So
want to.
realistically,
Uh-huh.
if I calculate it right at 22.5, to fully amortize it, it's going to be higher than that. Obviously, it's going to be about 450. So we really want to pay more into it.
Right.
475.
But you'd still have positive cash flow though,
Yeah.
right?
My goal, we want to try to get this paid off in 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. No prepay penalty or anything, right?
No prepay. I made sure of that.
Well, good deal. I mean, that's great. Did you have to pay points or anything?
No, nothing. We're paying 15% though.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's good. I think most of the people on this call, that was rent per month, Richard, per month. Can you believe that? 4 times? Taxes and insurance. Yeah, what about taxes and insurance? Kathy from Greenville, I think, North Carolina or South Carolina. Dang it, I always forget what that is. But anyway, yeah, what about taxes and insurance? Is that the 20% you put aside?
Insurance is $43 a month,
Uh-huh.
and taxes is like 52.
43 plus 52, $95. You get did you say 975 in? Yeah.
975.
So that's 880. Is that part of your 20% you put aside for reserves?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's high, but we just want to be secured.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Well, you still have this is a great win for everybody because realistically, okay, you didn't have to pay points for this, did you? So that
No.
and this is a small loan, so someone took the time to do it. And sometimes on these smaller deals, just to make it worth the time to do it, you have to charge a little bit more, but you can still see this as an absolutely wonderful win-win. You could find someone who, as you now you're friends with Walter, aren't you? Aren't you guys really
Yes.
closely associated with him? Well, he can, the more you're in the business and the longer you're around, usually, money starts getting thrown at you that's willing to go at less and less and less as you show your proficiency as an investor. Um, just out of curiosity, if you took this house, and then we'll wrap it up, but if you took this house and did an owner financing to somebody, like if someone's paying 975 in rent, what could I mean, they could afford to buy it for the same or less. So like, what could you owner finance this property for?
We could probably do it for about 59, but it would be less years. And I think it's such a great cash flow because after we pay it off, I
You
mean, you
guys will
can't
just,
beat
oh
that
my
rent.
gosh, no, it's just phenomenal. You know,
Yeah, so that's what we decided. This one's going to be a rental. Usually we do turn around and sell it with owner financing,
so
but we
someone put,
decided to keep this one.
yeah, no, no. Yeah, so if someone put 5,900 down, 10% down. Is that realistic in your market? Can they put 10% down?
Um, well, yes, they can. Not all the time. If we do usually what we do on the 10% down, we split it up in portions. Like we'll take maybe half
Uh-huh.
of it now, the other half after they do their taxes.
Okay, take out taxes and insurance. There's the 880 they have for P&I. How many months? Gosh, they would own it free and clear in 7.5 years. That's astounding.
Yeah.
Less than 7 years. So yeah, wow. Well, very cool. Uh, well, Kathy, yeah, South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. That's where Kathy's from. But anyway, yeah, great, great. So, what is there anything else before we wrap up? That is it Cindy or Vicky I'm talking to? It's Vicky, right?
Vicky,
Yeah.
Vicky.
Anything else you want to kind of crunch around on here, or is that all? Just, I mean, that was very
Well,
cool.
yeah, no, I mean, we're working on like 22 other deals that we're trying to crunch numbers, but I don't have them ready yet.
Yeah, so let's talk about risk to the investor. What happens if it goes vacant? Where's the money coming from to keep the investor whole? I mean, if they have to foreclose on something and the cash value is only 22.5 or 21.5, whatever, that's 100% loan to value. An investor could be, you know, in trouble at that point, technically, especially if they're out of state.
Correct. But then also, if you're looking, it's less than 50% of the value of the property.
Okay, so really, you're just getting a phenomenal deal, and it would appraise and BPO all day long at twice that,
Oh, easily, easily.
even in as is condition.
Yes.
Wow, phenomenal. Did you have to put any work in it before you stuck your renter in there?
We had paint and carpet, the basic.
Gotcha. Wow. Well, that's very inspiring. I mean, those numbers are hard to beat. Kathy and I, she's gonna do a webinar with me. Maybe you should be on that call too, because in the South and some of these, like when I look at a cash flow, Kathy brought this up when I brought a note to her the other week, and she said, this seems like really great cash flow, but here in the South, that doesn't impress us. We really want the rents because there's so much turnover with tenants. We know there's a lot of vacancy, and we want the cash. Like if somebody owes $100,000, say they've got 4 or 5 properties and they owe $100,000, she wants to see the cash flow at like $3,000 or something. And I'm like, or just like a 3 or 4 multiple, which is like usually that's a lot higher than I think of. So I'm looking forward to recording that with Kathy because it's a different way of thinking that she learned once she moved from the West Coast over there to the East Coast and in the deep, deep South. So I'm looking forward to
Mhm.
that. But yeah, you're getting here like so even if you paid full retail, you'd still be getting a double 2%. So that's really great.
No, this was a really good deal.
Yeah, and how did you find it? Enlighten us. We're not your competition.
Actually, Cindy's the one that found it. It was referred to her
So from who?
from a realtor friend of hers.
Okay, so just networking with realtors and
Networking.
everything. Oh, wow. And so did this realtor have the listing?
No, no, it's a pocket deal.
Wow. So what did the realtor get out of it?
To be honest with you, I don't know that part.
Oh, okay. So probably she got, 3, 5, maybe 10% of the purchase price.
Yeah,
It came out of the seller's side anyway, right?
yeah, because we're not paying her anything.
Okay. Yeah, she just wanted to get it done quick, huh?
Correct.
Wow. Well, good deal. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's always
Okay,
inspiring to,
so
yeah.
Cindy just texted me. The realtor is getting 1,500 or to 2,000.
Okay, that's great.
So
Uh,
it's not coming out of our pocket, so we're good.
yeah, so she is there a reason she just didn't want to list it on the MLS? I mean, how did you she just knows your friends? I mean, what was the seller a regular person, someone died or a bank or what was it?
They just really need to get rid of it fast.
Fast, uh-huh.
And they just had the realtor had too many deals going, and this is like a small deal for her because she works on bigger deals.
Right.
So she just called Cindy. It's all about networking.
Yeah, fantastic. Good for you. I mean, so the realtor got a 9% commission on it, but she didn't have to do much. You guys just stepped in and made her work easy and you got a good deal in exchange. That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we liked it, and especially on this kind of rent, you can't beat it.
No. Yeah, I was the last time I talked to Walter, he says, rents in relationship to the cash value of the houses are going so crazy. I think I'm gonna kind of edge my business, you know, uh, expand my portfolio with rentals because it's just so juicy right now. So that's a great example of it. I mean, even paying 15% interest, you're making your cash flow of even if what did we say it was like 458 if we fully amortized, what was it? Something like that.
It was something like that.
So still you're cash flowing.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
I'm originally from California, and I just moved out here in January because I came to visit Mississippi last year, and I fell in love with the market here. So I packed up my stuff and I moved. Because California, you don't get it's it's less risk here and better cash flow.
yeah, clearly. Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for being here. It was a really great session. Just really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. All right, have a good one.
Right on.
Bye bye.
Right.